Hey, this is Mac from JLPTBootcamp.com with another book review. So recently I've been studying for the N1 exam. I just passed N2 back in 2011, December of 2011. And to start things off, studying for N1, I wanted to master the grammar and the vocabulary, mostly because I think these are the things that take quite a long time to get used to, and you have to do a lot of reviewing and refining and things. And the first book that I started with was the N1 grammar book from in the So-Matome series, which this series is generally easier than the new Kanji and Master series that is out now for N1 and N2. But just to give you a general overview, this series has 5 books, I believe. One for grammar, kanji, reading comprehension, listening comprehension, and vocabulary. Usually they're 6 to 8 week courses. I think most of the N1 books are 8-week courses, but some of the lower levels, N2 and N3, are 6-week courses. And then how they work is they give you a grammar point every day, and then at the end of the week there's a review test to go over those grammar points that includes all the grammar questions that you'd see on the actual N1 exam. And for the N1 So-Matome Grammar book, each week starts off with a handy little checklist with all the different grammar points, just a real quick snapshot of each one, bolded. The grammar point is bolded. And this is really handy, I think, to later on go back and use as a cheat sheet. There's check boxes there. I'm not quite sure when you're supposed to check those boxes, but I use it as something to go over maybe a week or 2 weeks or even a month before the test. Just read through all these grammar points, make sure I have an understanding of each one, how they're formed, how they're used. If I don't, then I can easily look them up in each individual day. So that's kind of how I use this summary page. Then after you get past the weekly summary at the checklist at the beginning, every day you'll have 3 to 5 grammar points, and each grammar point usually has at least one example sentence, and then that example sentence is translated into English, and Chinese and Korean. And usually how these are grouped each day is they have similar pronunciation or similar subject. They deal with kind of the similar kind of a similar area, or they're often confused with each other. They're kind of put all together in one unit. And each one gives some detailed info about each grammar point. Specifically, they go into some conjugation info, tell you what endings can be used with the grammar point, how it's used. Do you need to use no with a noun, or can you just put the noun right before it? What kind of conjugations? Is it the verb in te form or verb in ru form? Whatnot. It'll also, from time to time, point out things that you can't do with the grammar that you would think you could. And typically, of course, the primary thing you need to know is the meaning of the grammar point. But usually what the test will go over is these types of things, the small, little fine points, the nuances about the grammar. So make sure you don't breeze over this little conjugation box that's off to the right in each section for each grammar point. Because that's the kind of stuff that'll come up on the JLPT. Of course, for each example sentence, you have the full English translation, Chinese translation, Korean translation. You also, it'll give you a Japanese rewording of the particular grammar point down below in the the parentheses there. And this is good to give you kind of a good idea of some things that just aren't translatable into English. So usually I like to see the English translation to get kind of a feeling that way, and the Japanese rewording to get kind of an idea that way. And then that usually kind of fills in the whole picture, so to speak, for the particular grammar point. Also, every day they'll give you some questions. These are typically just choose the correct grammar point, really easy stuff, A or B. There's 5 of those. And then they give you 2 scrambled sentences, which are really good for practicing the, practicing good sentence structure. Generally, these questions are pretty easy. That is why I usually study the whole day, all the grammar points, go over them in my head, make sure I understand them, and then go back a day later, a couple days later, even a week later, and answer these questions just to make sure I've locked in the information. And then, of course, if I miss anything, then go back, review that point. Did I understand it correctly, or just did I not spend enough time studying it, whatnot? I usually don't do these questions on the same day that I study the grammar points, because they're just too easy if you do it that way. Of course you can. But another thing I would suggest is that you do not write in your book. It's better to write your answers down on a separate sheet of paper and check the answers from there. And the reason why I recommend this is because usually within a month or 2 months you'll probably forget these specific questions, and so you can go back and review these later or right before the test or whatnot if you're having trouble with a particular grammar point. And then, of course, to finish everything off on day 7, you have the review units. These are really great practice because they have all 3 sections of the grammar section of the JLPT. The choose the correct form, sentential questions, I believe, is what they translated into English. The scrambled sentences, sentential sentences 2 section, and as well as the text grammar section. There's a good number of questions for each section that you can go over, and this is a good thing to do to review with. You can go over everything and just check to make sure you understand stuff. If you don't understand something, you can go back and check that grammar point at that time. You know your weaknesses. So really cool, really useful, I feel like. You can pick up this book if you are inside Japan. You can pick it up at Amazon, of course, or generally speaking, a major bookstore in a metropolitan area will probably carry this book. I'm talking about a big Kinokuniya or a big Book First, something that's about the size of a street block, would have these kinds of books to study for the JLPT. If you are outside of Japan, I highly recommend White Rabbit Press. They generally have the best prices and good deals on shipping. They ship from Tokyo, but they're generally a pretty good deal and the best place to get these kinds of books if you do live outside of Japan. So that's it from me at this is Mac at JLPTbootcamp.com. For more good stuff like this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, or if you have any questions or comments, by all means visit me at my website JLPTbootcamp.com, and you can click the Contact Me button, send me a message that way. Until then, I hope to hear from you soon.